Hey, welcome to the channel. This is MattCam89, and today is going to be my last thrifting video. Yep, you heard that. My last thrifting video of 2023. But boy, do I have a lot of games to show you. No consoles in this lot, just a bunch of games. And I got a pretty good amount of good ones here. A couple of them that have been on my wish list. So I will tell you which ones those are. So I'm just going to get into it because I do have a good stack here of games. Now, these are all games that I've gotten thrifting, whether it be through Goodwill or Savers. I want to say the vast majority, if not all of these particular ones, are probably through my local Savers. I think there was 2 or 3 that I ventured to that are kind of near me. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first game that I got is Battlefield 1. Now, I do own this game digitally, but I did want a physical copy as well. And I don't have the sticker on there, but what I paid, but I know it was pretty cheap. It was something like $1.99. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I picked it up. In great condition. The next one is a PlayStation 3 title, and I think that is the only real modern console that I have. The next one is a PlayStation 3 title. I own the second one, but I did not own the first one, so glad I found this. Has the sticker still on there. $4.99 for Infamous. You can let me know in the comments section below whether that is a good idea. I did not actually look up the pricing for any of these, so I don't know if I got ripped off or if I got a good deal. Looks like this one is missing the manual, but that's okay. Case and the disc itself are in pretty good condition. That's what I'm more concerned about. And during this time anyways, although I think with Infamous there is a manual for it, and probably a decent sized one. But there was a time period, probably towards the end of the lifespan of these consoles, where manuals started to get thin. And I actually have a good amount of original Xbox titles, the first one being Knights of the Old Republic. And that one was $5.99. And it is not complete in box. It looks like it is the Platinum Hits. But the case that it's in, it's looks like it's a Game Crazy, which I didn't typically go to them. I want to say they were like a GameStop type deal. They were big at one point in my area probably during this time and maybe the PS3, Xbox 360 era, but they kind of fell off. I never really went there. I usually went to GameStop or Best Buy because at the time I was working at Best Buy too. So next one is an original Xbox title. It is The Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. I have never played this one before. Also $5.99. And this one, I believe it is complete in box. Everything is in great condition. Disc, manual. And that is The Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. All right, the next one. And I know at Papa Bear Gaming, if you're watching this, you're going to get excited because you like your sports titles. And this is ESPN Football for the original Xbox. This is when, in my opinion, 2K4, 2K5, I think, is when the football 2K games got really, really good. Like, really good presentation-wise. This was the first time that you could do first-person football. It was very hard to play because you couldn't really see, and, you know, it was a nice little gimmick. I think that would work today if in VR space. It would work a lot better, but, you know, it was a fun addition. And this is the time where the presentation started to get really good, and they would have like good halftime shows. Still not as good as 2K5, but this is when it got really good. For $3.99, this one is also complete in box. Comes with the manual and disc. I've already played it, so works well. All right, the next one is also an original Xbox title, and this is another Lord of the Rings game, but this one's a little sneaky. So it's Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, the case. However, which is a great game. I own it for the PlayStation 2, but not the original Xbox. But in the case, I picked it up anyway. It's got the manual, the case, but the disc you're going to notice is not the actual game. This is Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, which I don't know much about that one, so I don't know how well it is. But I decided to take a chance at $5.99. I'll grab it anyways. So you can let me know in the comment section below because I have not played that yet. Probably won't get to it. I have such a backlog of games that I'm trying to get to. You let me know in the comment section below if that's something that I should put up in my backlog list so that I can get to it sooner rather than later. Now, this game that I'm going to show you next is a wish list title. And I think I got it for a steal. Does work. I already tried it. So I have Wii Sports, but I did not have Wii Sports Resort, which I think is the better version. And I got this for 99 cents. And the reason why I like this one is I think this one has the actual basketball. So, the 3-point basketball is my favorite. Yeah, it has a basketball. That was my favorite one to play. It's not complete in box. I'm pretty sure this did come with a manual. But for 99 cents, yep, I think this is a steal. I know this game goes for a lot more than that. Not crazy bucks, but definitely a lot more than $1, that's for sure. So great deal on that one, I know for sure. The next game I picked up for my daughter, she likes Disney games, so I got Disney Tangled for the Wii, and that's for $1.99. Thing about these games I find at thrift stores is they're always in great condition. You know, whether they just don't get played a lot or whatever. But it is complete in box, and that is Disney Tangled. The next set of games, they are Xbox 360 titles, and I know I have a few in here that are also part of my wish list. This game, actually, my wife picked up for me. I do have a copy of it already, but my wife is always looking out for me, and she ended up picking up the Fallout Game of the Year edition for $4.99. I'll have to check which version is better, whether this one, because this is actually a pretty clean copy. I'll have to see which one is better. Oh, the case is a little broken. I didn't see that. But it does have the manual and both of the discs. Now, it's great to have this particular version because all the DLC is located on this second disc. And if you're not familiar, what you need to do is you put in the second disc first, allow all of the DLC to install, and then you use the first disc to actually play the main game, and then you'll have all the DLC. Because I was wondering when I had originally got this, you know, how that works. So I had to Google it and figure out how I could get all my DLC stuff. Because I was hoping that it was not a code or something. Because I've been lately, codes have not been really working out for me. You know, even if they're not used, they just tend to not work for some reason. So, but luckily, all the DLC is on that second disc. So this is a good buy if you don't have it. This will give you everything. All right, the next game I actually picked up a few weeks ago. And this is Ace Combat Assault Horizon. I have not played too many Ace Combat games, but the ones that I have played, I did enjoy them. $4.99. I think that's a good deal for what it is. And this is also complete in box. The case is a little bit beat up, but it's got the manual and disc. Nothing wrong with that. The next title is a wish list of mine. This is a game that I got early in my Xbox 360 days and really enjoyed it. If you enjoy anything mechs, this is a game I highly recommend. You know, it's not groundbreaking, and there probably are better mech games, but I find this to be a pretty solid one. And that is Hounds for the Xbox 360, made by Sega. Again, this was a title that I had early in my Xbox 360 days. This is obviously not the original case, so it might be a blockbuster case, maybe. But it does have the manual and the disc, and it does work. I have played it already. Had to play it. Was excited to find this in a thrift store. Great memories of this game. And that is Hounds. If you haven't played it and you like mechs, Definitely get this. All right, the next one is in a generic GameStop case. And this is Just Cause for the Xbox 360. That is for $2.99. And it feels a little bit on the lighter side, so it's just a disc, which is fine. And that is Just Cause. So if you like kind of open world, chaos, guns, flying, all kinds of things like that, this is a fun game to waste a few hours on. All right, the next game I also own digitally, but I wanted, again, a physical copy for it. I also own this on the PlayStation 3. I think that is the better version. But that is Battlefield 3. This is an awesome game. I actually live streamed this a few days ago. There are still servers, at least on the PS3 version. That's where I typically play on. But I saw this at the thrift store. It was only a couple bucks. I don't know why the sticker is not on there. But yeah, it's complete in, well, I want to say complete in box, but it may not be. I don't know if there's a manual. I'll have to check my PS3 one, see if there's an actual manual. But it does have both discs. Now, the Xbox 360 version, excuse me, the Xbox 360 version, because these are not Blu-ray discs, they had to include a second disc so that you would install the game. And basically, that was like an HD texture pack so that the game would look better. Definitely recommend it. Definitely do not recommend playing without it. So you do have to have, obviously, a hard drive that can store whatever is needed, the amount of gigabits, to be able to get the better resolution, better textures, things of that nature. Otherwise, the gameplay is just fine. All right, the next game is Vanquish, also a Sega title. If you like Gears of War, you're probably going to like this. It's one of those third-person cover shooters. And definitely not a hidden gem. This is a well-known game that people enjoy. It feels a little bit on the heavier side, so it is complete in box. This game was $5.99. And looking forward to playing this again. I know I played it at some point back in the day, but I never beat it. So definitely good to get back into that and to complete it. Another Sega game, I don't know why it's coming to mind, but there is another Sega game that if you can get it for either the PS3 or Xbox 360, is a game called Binary Domain. So if you like cover shooters and things like that, and this one has a great story, at least I thought it was a great story. It's great mechanics overall. It's just an awesome game. Get that game, Binary Domain. All right, this next game is also a wish list title. Again, Papa Bear, this is for you. If you're watching, I know you love sports titles, but this one's a really good one. In fact, this one is probably more of a nostalgia hit for me. I've talked about it a couple times on this channel, and that is FIFA World Cup, South Africa. It's just, I don't know, that time in gaming for me where, I had a couple of buddies that would come over, my brother, and we would just sit on the couch and we'd do the tournament. We'd all be on the same team, either Team USA or Team Portugal. And we would try to win the World Cup. And I can't remember if we ever actually ended up winning the World Cup, but a lot of good times, a lot of laughs, a lot of heartbreaks, a lot of great moments. Just such a nostalgia for this game. And I also enjoy playing it as well. It is also complete in box, comes with the disc, the manual, and obviously the case. That was for $3.99. That is FIFA World Cup, South Africa, 2010. Great game. Definitely recommend it. One of my favorite soccer games of all time. This other game, believe it or not, is a wish list game just because I like the movie so much. And kind of sad that they haven't done much with that property. And that is WallE for the Xbox 360. Decent game. I actually played a little bit of it to capture some footage, and I ended up playing it a lot longer than what I was anticipating. Looks great, plays great. Also has co-op and 1 to 4 players. This is also complete in box. Comes with the manual and the disc for $4.99. think that's a great deal. The next title, also a Xbox 360, and the last of my thrifting find for that console. And that is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. Now, I do need this game still for the PlayStation 3, so if I come across that, I'm definitely going to pick it up. $4.99, awesome game, great split screen co-op. Not the main campaign, but at least they have like these co-op missions and stuff that you can do. That's a lot of fun. I don't know if this one is complete in box. I don't believe it is. Oh, it is. It is. The manual is just extremely light. But complete in box, disc is in great shape. $4.99. One of the best Call of Duty games ever made. Also enjoy the campaign. The thing with this title, though, is it has been remastered, so you can play, obviously, a better version of it on your newer consoles. Now we are getting into PlayStation 2 territory. And the next game is also a wish list title of mine. It is also a Call of Duty game. It is not going to be on many people's wish lists, but it was on mine. So I was pretty excited that I was able to find this at a thrift store, because I just feel like this is one of those games that are just, it wasn't very popular in the day. So the chances of it being in a thrift store were probably very slim. And I just happened to find it. So, and that is Call of Duty World at War Final Fronts for the PlayStation 2. This is a completely different game. So even though it shares a similar name to the more popular, well-known World at War, this is its own standalone title. I have played it, a good chunk of it. I haven't beat it yet, but I have played a good chunk of it. I actually enjoy it. I think for the hardware that it's on, this game is incredibly underrated. Was it worth the full asking price at the time? Absolutely not. But for the $4.99 that I paid for it for today, absolutely it's worth it. It's a great standalone campaign. And to be honest, for Call of Duty games, I enjoy the campaigns. I buy Call of Duty to play the campaigns. So when you come out with a Call of Duty like Modern Warfare 3 and everybody's saying the campaign is horrible, well, guess what? I'm not buying that until it's at a steep discount, if I even end up buying it. I don't even know if I'm going to end up buying Modern Warfare 3. You know, maybe if it becomes included in Game Pass, then I'll play it that way. But this is actually a pretty good title. If you can find it on the cheap, don't listen to a lot of the reviews on YouTube. Check it out for yourself. It's actually pretty impressive what this is doing on the PlayStation 2 hardware. And, you know, if I had gone in and listened to a lot of the naysayers about this game, I probably would have never tried it, and would have missed out on a pretty decent campaign there. It's actually made by Rebellion. And this one is also complete in box. Call of Duty World at War Final Fronts. The only thing I would have said would have been cool is if they were able to have included some kind of zombies mode. It would have been cool to see what the PlayStation would have been able to do as far as that. I guess the closest thing that we would get to that would be the Wii version of Black Ops, which I believe does have it, but I've never played it, and I don't have that version of it. All right, the next game is also the next two are going to be PlayStation 2, and then that's going to finish off my thrifting there. My Xbox got a little tired back there, so sorry for the purple screen. The next one is Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the PlayStation 2 for $7.99. Also pretty excited to find this at a thrift store, because I know this goes for a little bit more than that. It is complete in box, in great condition. Comes with the manual, the disc. The overall condition of the case itself is in good shape. Now, this game, awesome game. Absolutely love it. What's great about this is you can play with AI, you can play split screen, and, you know, even though you may not be able to play it online with a caveat, I think there is a way that you can unofficially. But the fact that they have AI bots and things like that, it definitely makes this game, because it does have a campaign and things like that, and it does have a good campaign. and other modes. But being able to do instant action, offline, split screen, things like that, pretty awesome. This also includes LAN. So a few days ago, me and my daughter, we were playing this. I have another copy, and I'm going to explain why I ended up getting 2 copies. But we decided, hey, we're going to play LAN and check it out, see if it even works. And it does. She was playing on the PlayStation 2, and I was playing on the PS3. And we were able to get a LAN going with AI bots, and we were able to play that way. So if you're able to get a few players with LAN, you could actually have a nice little LAN party with this. Although, if you're going to do that, I strongly recommend the Xbox version of this game to do a LAN party, because you can do a lot more bots, you can do a lot more players at the same time, and it's just overall it's a better experience, a better looking game too. This game really shines on the Xbox, but still plays pretty well for a PlayStation 2. It's pretty impressive. Now, the reason why I have 2 copies, so a little bit of a disclaimer. If you notice, this is the greatest hits version. And on original PlayStation 2 hardware, this game plays no problem. However, if I try to play this game on my backwards compatible PS3, it freezes every time. It's not an issue with the disc because it plays flawlessly on my PS2, but it'll load up into a match on the PS3 and then it instantly freezes. The way to fix that, I had to buy another copy of Star Wars Battlefront 2. However, it had to be the Black Label version that's not greatest hits. And you had to make sure. So I had to contact the seller because after I had bid on it on eBay, I had noticed in the listing that the game that was in the case actually was the red label. So, I contacted the seller. I said, hey, listen, I bid on your thing because the case itself was showing non-greatest hits. Do you have the actual non-greatest hits disc for it? And he did. So he ended up sending me the correct version, and that version plays no problem on a backwards compatible PS3. So if you're out there, you're watching this video, and for some reason, today or in the past, you were having trouble getting your Star Wars Battlefront greatest hits version to work on your PS3, that's why. There's some sort of bug with this version where it will not work correctly on a backwards compatible PS3, or at least the version that I have, which I don't remember the model off the back of my head, but that's why I ended up with 2 copies, which is fine because, now I could do a LAN with that one. The next game, I'm not going to say a wish list title, but the game itself was a wish list, which I actually had just gotten in a Loved Again media box, which is pretty awesome. And that is Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. Now, the Xbox 360 version for me was a wish list title. This one was not, but I was still excited to get it because I always like to try games that were really meant for a newer generation of hardware, but they still managed to squeeze it out on the old, just to kind of see the differences and things like that. So from what I understand and what I've played so far, the campaign story is the same. However, there are quite a bit of drawbacks. Graphics wise, it's not a third person camera view like in the Xbox 360 version. You have one squad mate that you can command as opposed to a team. And it's definitely scaled back in other areas as well, but still a fun game. If back in the day, if all I had was a PlayStation 2 and this was on the shelf and I picked it up, I would be happy with it. It's a great version, not the preferred version, but it's still a great version of a good game. And that is Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. This is complete in box, great condition. Plays no problem on a backwards compatible PS3 as well as original hardware. And I got this for $4.99. So yeah, this is my last thrifting video of 2023. I think this was a great haul that I got. This wasn't all in one shot. This has actually been over the past couple of months that I've been going out. I just been kind of waiting to make this kind of video to have a little bit more to show. So this is a longer video than what I typically put out, but I hope you enjoy it. And I enjoy putting out these videos, being able to speak a little bit of my mind on these games. Overall, I think I got a great haul. You let me know in the comment section below what was your favorite game out of this. And did I get good deals? Did I get ripped off by savers? You let me know. Thank you for watching. Thank you for my new subscribers. And as always, God bless and happy gaming.